Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Northern Countdown. I'm none other than your friendly neighborhood soda, joined as always by my co-host, my cohorts in this endeavor, Prince Benjamin II, and rest in peace, yes, Kevin Conroy, not Conry.
Did I say hello?
Yes. Before we continue, it would be behooved of us to not mention yesterday, prior to the day of this recording, the great Kevin Conway unfortunately passed away at the age of 66 after a short battle with cancer. This man is Batman for a lot of people because he's one of the few that actually got both sides of the character right. He left such an indelible mark that I wouldn't be surprised if he's not most people's voice whenever they read Batman. He's definitely, for me, whenever I read a comic book, it's always Conroy's voice. I don't know about you guys.
He's my Batman. You can have your Ben Afflecks and your George Clooney's and your Michael Keatons and your Christian Bales and even your Robert Pattinson. He is my Batman. He is the greatest to ever do it. And he did it to the best that he could for 30 years. Longer than I've been alive. So
right.
Respect to the voice.
Oh, 100%.
Great. He was great. Not my favorite, but yeah, I mean, there's no denying how incredible he was.
And not just for being, Batman, but a lot of people are sharing cameos that they would get from him. And a lot of them, you could tell the dude was a very, very, very good man. A good man. That's hard to say in Hollywood.
And that is what we should all strive for.
Yeah, exactly. Did you ever hear the story? This little story that has been making rounds lately. Did you ever hear the story about the time Kevin Conroy was working at the soup kitchen, and they didn't believe that Batman was working in the back, was the one serving their food? So he was doing a thing with it. So he's back there cooking, and somebody comes up to him. He's just like, "Are you?" And so Conroy starts talking. He's like, "I knew it. You were Batman." Okay. So the guy goes up to the front. He's like, "Hey, you guys aren't gonna believe who's serving your food. It's Batman." And silence, all of a sudden you hear from the back, "Bullshit." So he goes to the back. He's like, "You want to do this?" So he goes, "I am the night. I am vengeance. I am Batman." And then you hear silence go, "Holy shit, it's Batman." That's the man he was.
The only story I have to share is that one time he did a YouTube video where he basically there was a wheel of different Batmans and he just did different lines from other Batman in his Batman voice.
Yeah,
so,
no, I've seen that one. That was pretty good. Yeah, no, even the voice of Batman in the video games the last 15 years. Like this dude,
he was
in Batman
animated series, video games,
live action.
Even a minor role in the Crisis event.
Yeah,
which is one of the high points of that event.
Yeah, like this dude left an indelible legacy. Basically, he was the wine bottle that launched the ship that was the DC animated TV universe of the 1990s. If it wasn't for him and Batman, we wouldn't have had Superman. We wouldn't have Static Shock. We wouldn't have had Justice League. Wouldn't have had Batman Beyond.
Would you say he's the Christopher Reeve as Superman for Batman in the animated universe?
Yes and no. The only thing that would deter me from that is because outside of that Arrowverse thing, he didn't, he's physically he's not Batman. Whereas Christopher Reeve, you look at him and like, that's Superman. With Kevin Conroy, it's just one of those, if you don't know, you don't know until you hear the voice, right? Yeah. But yes, I will say when in terms of stature, he has to be like as synonymous with Batman as you're right, as Christopher Reeve is with Superman, as Chris Evans is with Captain America, and as Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man, and
Ryan Reynolds,
exactly, and Patrick Stewart as Xavier. So, yeah, man, he left a great legacy, which I'm glad I own most of it. The only one I don't own is Static Shock, but may you rest in peace, Mr. Conroy, and hopefully you do get to see the fruits of your labors, because man, you left an amazing mark on an entire generation of children. You did.
Yep.
Final thoughts. Static Shock is really good. Just saying.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's the hardest one to get, I think.
Yeah, it's the one that was almost. Well, actually, the hardest one is the Zeta Project, but that's a rabbit hole. I don't think we want to go.
That's another story.
That's the one that DC really buried.
That's actually one I didn't know existed until a couple years ago, if I'm being honest.
Me neither, but I did watch it. It's good.
Nice.
things that happened at the time.
All right, so we just finished talking about the light that was Kevin Conroy. Now we are about to go into the darkness that is the list. It was my list. It was top 5 Disney animated villains. This idea came to me because I've been slavishly playing Disney Dreamlight Valley lately. Pretty much every time I'm at home, that's what I'm playing. Right now, last night, I just unlocked Scar, so that should make 50 happy.
Yeah, the best villain.
Second best villain.
You shut your
Goodness.
Hey, Soda. He is the best villain. I am the master.
You have fucking Jafar's staff?
No, it's a cane that I ordered online, and I spray painted it gold and put some red glitter on the eyes. And I went that to the premiere of the live action Aladdin.
Right on, man. That is pretty.
I like that movie.
Me too.
It's the best of the Disney live action movies, in my opinion.
It's up there. I've got a soft spot for Pete's Dragon.
I have a soft spot for Beauty and the Beast.
I haven't. Is it? You're talking the live action, the modern Pete's Dragon, or the
modern?
I only saw the old one.
The modern one's actually not bad. It's in my opinion, it flies under the radar.
Pun intended.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about this because I know I can back up my number one for sure.
And I
Me too.
Both of us already know you're number one.
Now, here's the thing, though. The beauty about this is you got to remember we're friends. This is all subjective, and this isn't to one of you guys. This is more to the audience. This is going to be a fun debate. I can't wait to get into this. Let's just start.
And of course, we all know my number one is the best. With that aside.
Well, anyways, my number one can make your number two and your number one into a rug. Anyways,
we shall see.
No, I mean literally, you could kill him and make him into a rug. All right.
Well, that's your number one. I'm not naming someone else.
We'll get there. Don't worry. My number one is who you think it is.
Okay.
We'll get there. Okay. Because anyways, I'm gonna start this, and I know we were just talking about this guy off the air, but my number 5 actually is Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
That's my number 5 too.
Okay.
And me.
Is that all or number 5?
Yes.
Wow. Gaston is on my list because, the movie isn't that long. It's only like a 70-minute movie. We don't get a lot of time with Gaston, but what we do get with him, we realize this is a man who, he may look like a human on the outside, but truly he's the monster on the inside, which is the opposite of the beast, who's a monster on the outside, but he's human on the inside. So it's just like what makes a monster. He
is the beauty and the beast.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Plus, he's got one of the greatest songs, Gaston.
Oh,
right.
Have you ever seen the YouTube video Deadpool the musical?
Yes, I have.
They use that song.
Nice. I know it's not any of the live action one. My mom has actually caught wind of it and has fallen in love with Luke Evans. It's mostly because of Gaston.
I love his dynamic with the Pooh.
Right. Yes, it's like a Lex Luthor Otis style.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
No one slick as Gaston, no one stick as Gaston, no one makes top 5 lists on our show like Gaston.
I wish I could remember the rest. And actually, my high school back
in yes, I'm intimidating. I want a guy like Gaston.
It's been 8 years, but my local high school did Disney's Beauty and the Beast as one of their musicals. I was in pit band for it. It's been 8 years. Holy crap.
Wow. Yeah. 8 years. I know what that is like.
All right, 50.
We all have the same number 5.
Right. Okay. My number 4 is Syndrome from The Incredibles.
Oh, we're doing Pixar too?
Anything that has Disney on it. The animated
wow.
Animated.
Sorry, I sometimes forget to differentiate between the two because I see Disney on the name. It's a Disney movie, even though Pixar's the one that does it. You know?
Okay, fine. You know what? Maybe I'll just save
Sorry,
my-
and that is my bad because, like I said, sometimes I just have a hard time. I forget that they're technically.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Explain yourself. Good
But no,
sir.
it is syndrome because it is basically what can happen when you meet your heroes and they disappoint you. You become a supervillain. Syndrome has got a lot of great one-liners. Basically, yeah, it's good to be bad. It's okay to be bad. That's a great movie, by the way. Wreck-It Ralph is awesome. But no, I put Syndrome on here because, like I said, it shows you what happens if you meet your heroes and they disappoint you. Basically, he meets Mr. Incredible as a kid. He tries to be a psychic. Mr. Incredible basically tells him to piss off in no uncertain terms. And then he grows up to be what he wants to be, one of the greatest superheroes of all time, to the point where he creates technology that basically a practice run on other superheroes. And yeah, Jason Lee does a great job in here. I mean, this is the better of the two villains in The Incredibles. I don't really remember much about the villain in the second one, if I'm being honest.
Well, he didn't play by Tina Fey on
It was,
Christian Ring.
it was a female hacker, but that's about it. Whereas this one, I remember everything about Syndrome because he just left such a good mark. A lot of it is due to Jason Lee.
Yeah. It's also a good insight when it looks to be a comic book movie fan in this day and age.
Exactly. And of course, the one lesson we learned from Syndrome at the very end when we finally saw him is no capes.
No capes.
No capes.
Okay.
Finally justified the no capes. Part of the,
God, yeah. Can we all just agree Edna Mode is awesome?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what
There you go.
These things sometimes happen when the director voices a character.
Oh God, yeah, because it was only supposed to be a temp track, but it ended up working so well they just kept it.
Yeah.
All right, 50. You're number 4.
Cruella de Vil. We'll fuck you too.
Honorable mention for me, man.
All right, fine. What's your number 4?
Will this will make you happy? It's a fall.
Bond.
Not on my list.
What?
Wow.
Whoa. Thoughts shired.
No, if I'm being honest, I love Jafar. It's just I don't know. There's villains I like more than him. Doesn't take away my love for the character. It's just as villains. I don't know. For me, just whatever.
Okay. So what's your number 3 then?
Yzma from Emperor's New Groove, because that's a different type of villain.
That's a different type of Jafar.
That is Jafar turned to like a 15. It's basically the way to describe it. Basically, they do kind of serve the same purpose. They both are advisors to the king, but this one, man, her relationship with Krung. Wrong lever!
Why do we even have that lever?
Or the best is I got it now. What happened to my voice?
Is that my voice?
Yeah, no, I actually just watched this what was it, last week or this week? I just watched it recently, and as of 50 and I were talking yesterday, like, it is an underrated Disney movie. And Yzma is a great comedic villain. In my opinion, probably the best comedic villain. Because
I think there's one funnier, and we'll get to it, I think.
Yeah, that's debatable, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not saying funnier, but I'm just saying what I'm saying is she's a villain who's more comedic than anything else. I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
It's more like
Brilliant, I tell you.
let's just. What's funny is because it's Eartha Kitt who voices Yzma. This is the type of character villain that would belong in Batman 66. That's what I'm saying. It's a comedic villain. It's a different villain. That's why she's so high on my list. Because not only is she out to kill, fucking hilarious while doing it.
And surprise, surprise, she gets turned into a literal cat woman.
So Yzma is my number 3. Probably a little bit of recency bias, but I love Yzma because I'll never forget. Wrong lever. Great scene.
How did you get here? How did you beat us here?
I don't know. We're all gonna kind of convoluted around over here.
You got me. By all accounts, this doesn't make sense.
Wait a second. I was in the Squirrel Scouts. I speak squirrel.
That Patrick Wilburton, right?
It is Patrick Warburton.
Yes.
That
I
is
love
Funny.
Think about the cast of that movie: Patrick Warburton, Eartha Kitt, David Spade, John Goodman, Wendy Malick. That's a good cast.
greatness.
Who did Randy Malick play?
She plays the wife.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Yeah.
All right, the poison for Cusco, the poison chosen especially to kill Cusco. Cusco's poison.
You're the important team. You're
Not
the important team.
touchy. Which I do use. I do use no touchy in my everyday life. All right, 50. You're number 3.
So when people ask me what is the holy trinity of Disney villains, I say there's the best male villain, the best female villain, and the best overall villain, and the best male villain is Jafar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Jafar wrote the book that Yzma occasionally gazed at and took a few pointers from. As far as the Disney villains go, he is despicable, cunning, pure evil, always out for himself, abuses his henchmen. He's in a position of power. He's got magic. He even becomes a genie at one point, which in the sequel makes him even more of a threat.
Yep.
He is the definitive male human. Important distinction there. Definitive male human villain in the Disney pantheon.
I think I know why. I think I just realized why I don't hold him as in regard as others. And I think it's because if it wasn't for Robin Williams overshadowing that whole fucking movie, I might look at him. I might remember. I don't know. Robin Williams' performance is everything to me in that movie, to the point where it says it outshadows everything else. Everything I think of the movie is a Robin Williams line. So I think if it wasn't for that, maybe Jafar would have been on my list. But to me, he's not the biggest part of the movie. It's Robin Williams took that for me.
But the thing is, and people still to this day forget about it. The movie is called Aladdin. It's not the Genie movie.
I know.
Even though Robin Williams stole the movie, stole the show, you gotta talk about Aladdin. You gotta talk about Jasmine, the Sultan, Abu, a carpet. You gotta talk about all these other characters, and that includes Jafar. And I think the reason why Jafar is such a menacing villain, especially in the sequel, is because Robin Williams wasn't there. It was still the genie, but it was, and they gave Jafar first of all, they didn't give Jafar a villain song in the original. They gave him a villain song in The Return of Jafar, where he literally just, again, context aside, context is important. He literally says to the genie that he's second best. I wonder if there was some behind the scenes decisions there, based on what you were saying.
Jonathan Freeman's performance is second to none. Like, I'm not disagreeing with anything you say, because you gotta remember, this is my personal list. If I was actually to say, like, look and analyze, like, actually look at it like a reviewer and not just Matt's favorite, yeah, Jafar would definitely be on the list. Don't get me wrong.
He's also one of those villains that uses every single weapon in his arsenal to his advantage. He leaves no stone unturned.
And he's got a great funny sidekick in Iago.
Another rest in peace character. Which from now on he's looking out for him.
Yeah, good old Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah. I love him.
Okay, Ben, you said this was your number 4. What the fuck do you gotta say about Jafar?
What can I say about everything? Oh my god.
I like that.
Basically everything you said, I echo. It is a great villain menacing and a little creepy because he wants to marry an underage woman. Think about that.
Well, I mean, it was the times.
It was a Disney film that takes place in those times. There's others that are like that too, Pocahontas. Don't get started on that one. That one's oof.
Well,
Beauty and the Beast. There's some other
Right.
reality there.
In real history, Pocahontas was 10.
yeah, but not in the movie.
No, not in the movie, no.
But I mean, in real legends, Mulan was 16.
Yeah.
Just say. And also in the actual proper legends, Snow White was 14.
Mhm.
Just put that into the
Just the way it was.
Simba was 1 or 2. So
Who was? Sorry?
Simba, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Actually,
Yeah,
my
'cause
favorite one like that is Braveheart, because William Wallace, Mel Gibson, he romances French royalty, but in real history, she was like 6. That during that time, she never really had any interaction with William Wallace. It was a really weird decision they made, but
Yeah, and somehow that movie gets a pass, and Mulan and Pocahontas gets all the hate, and I don't understand why.
I think it might have to. I think there's more to it.
Because-
I think there's more to the Pocahontas thing than just the age limit.
And there's more to Braveheart than just the age.
Oh no. True.
Same with Gladiator and Inglourious Basterds, and yet somehow all these movies get a pass. But,
Yeah, well, Inglourious Basterds though is fourth rank. Everyone knows it's not real.
Yeah, but everyone still loves that movie.
Yeah, I'm not denying any of that, 50. But there's just
Well,
something.
what's with all the Pocahontas hate?
All right. Now move on. I want to go my number 3. If that's okay.
Yeah, let's do that before 50 and I get into a debate on social juice.
You know, there is one film that still freaks me out to this day. Ever since I was a little kid. Ursula from The Little Mermaid.
That's one I never did. That doesn't make my list.
Well,
He is so scary to me. Especially when she turns giant. And it's like, whoa. Like, she's a monster.
she always was a monster. Now she's a giant monster.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wow, what happened there,
Yes.
man?
Yeah, no, that was a little weird. Ben's camera got in on the action.
The Little Mermaid is a movie I did not watch a lot as a kid because of Ursula, mainly.
Oh, really?
She scared the shit out of me, so much so that I never rewatched that movie until I was, 16 or 17? I couldn't bring myself to rewatch that movie anymore.
It's a good movie. I love that movie.
It's one that just because I didn't own it, I didn't watch it a lot as a kid. I did watch it, but I don't know. Like that's one of those Disney movies. I do love The Little Mermaid, but I think I love it more for the sum of its parts than I do the individual parts. Even though, like, don't get me wrong, I love Scuttle, I love Sebastian, but it's just I love it more as a whole than I do as individual things.
The funny thing is, I watched some of the Little Mermaid cartoon show. I watched the sequel in theaters, I believe. I watched the sequel in theaters when it came out. Could not bring myself to rewatch the original. I was just too scared.
Yeah, I get it, man. To this day, I can't watch it.
Yeah, and that's another person that just passed away this year. Pat Carroll, who is the voice of Ursula, passed away this past summer.
Damn.
95.
Hey, good on.
Yeah, he lived a good life then.
Yeah, big bucket of win for Pat Carroll. That's for damn sure. That character was originally, if I'm not mistaken, supposed to be played by Divine, the famous drag queen from John Waters films.
Yeah, that's
Oh, wow.
That's who it was based off of.
Yeah, and it started kind of the myth that they were actually voicing the character when in reality it wasn't.
Yeah, that would have been Divine. Would have been an inspired choice.
It would have been divine.
Wait.
Sorry.
I said it would have been divine.
Ha. What were you going to say, Ben?
Who is playing her in the remake? Do we know?
Don't know because I keep forgetting that there's a remake.
Ah,
All right, so now your number one note.
Okay,
so
well, I'm not going to go much into it because. What's sorry, 50?
sorry, I just thought you were just talking with Ursula. I did not realize it was number 3. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm just going to say my number 2 because I know it's going to be a pun. My number 2 is Scar.
Okay. Okay, so now my number 2.
There you go.
Going back to the Holy Trinity that I talked about earlier, there's the best male villain, the best female villain, and the best villain overall. And in my opinion, the best female villain is none other than Maleficent.
I cannot add to this conversation because I've only seen Sleeping Beauty once, and I've never seen Maleficent, and I've never seen Maleficent 2.
Now, let me ask you this. Why have you only seen it once?
It was that era of Disney features. While I did watch them, it wasn't the one I gravitated to the most growing up. It was the Disney Renaissance. So I've seen them, but that is the one out of that era that I've seen the least.
Well, I've also, much like Little Mermaid, did not see that movie a lot because I talked about how Ursula scared me as a child. Maleficent terrified me as a little kid. That one, it took me even more guts to go back and rewatch that movie than it did for honest, Sleeping Beauty as a whole, as a movie, it's fine. I still think Little Mermaid is better out of the list of movies that scared me as a kid. But Maleficent, she is the biggest, baddest, most evil bitch in the Disney pantheon, and she knows it, and she revels in it. She got all upset because she wasn't invited to a christening, so she put a curse on a baby that she would die in her 16th birthday. And she has evil henchmen. She makes sure that the curse she will put on the little child actually happens. She kidnaps the prince to prevent the curse from being lifted. She turns into a dragon to kill the stupid thing. He finally stabs her in the heart with a magic sword, and then she tries one final attempt to kill him by trying to bite him before falling down into a vat of lava. How you do not get more evil than Maleficent.
Oh, that's a great lead.
And obviously, I will just say this. I know I'm in the minority here. Okay, I know. I love the Maleficent movies. I loved the Maleficent movies. Just try not to look at them as a Sleeping Beauty remake. Look at them as a Maleficent movie, and more importantly, just look at them as a fantasy movie. And you'll be much, because the main reason people got upset about the Maleficent movie is that they try to portray her as a misunderstood villain, a misunderstood anti-hero. And you know what? Again, take the context you know about the Sleeping Beauty out of it. The movie actually works on that individual level. And again, if you actually go in and try to introduce elements from the original Briar Rose, which is where the character itself originated, partially the reason why she was so upset was she had a fling for the king back in the day, and then Briar Rose, Sleeping Beauty's mother, came in and sort of snatched him away, and that's why she was so upset that she wasn't invited for the christening. So again, that's just extra topping on top. But in the movie itself, the animated the animated Sleeping Beauty movie, she set the standard for Disney villains early on in the 50s, I believe that was when the movie came out. So are you okay? You look frozen.
Sorry, no, I was something just caught my eye on online. So I made the mistake of going on Twitter and finding that there is a hashtag recast T'Challa. I was like, ooh, you fuckers.
Well, no spoilers.
Yeah. To those I say, go fuck yourselves, because a lot of you guys are saying that for not altruistic reasons. Go to hell.
Yeah. If you want to say that they should bring T'Challa back, that is one way of looking at it. But saying that you want to recast him because you didn't like a certain character in the movie, that's a different story altogether.
Yeah, no, like I said, the 60s, basically 50s to 70s Disney animation is probably my biggest weak area in terms of what I have seen. So yeah, I don't really have much to add to the lesson.
Oh,
Although
you see,
I respect the lore because I know the lore. I just never really seen. It's been a long time.
the thing is, I had those on video cassettes, and I'm a kid. I don't know what came out in the 50s. I don't know what came out in the 70s. I don't know what came out in the 90s. I just know that they were good movies and I enjoyed them.
Right, and I didn't own them. I owned like primarily everything I owned was Disney Renaissance era, and same with my grandparents. I don't think they owned Sleeping Beauty, but I mean, I did watch 101 Dalmatians a lot. I did watch Lady and the Tramp a little bit, but I mean that I would watch Fox and the Hound. Like it's just, but Sleeping Beauty for some reason is just one of those ones that just fell through the cracks.
It happened. But again, I didn't have it. I didn't own it. I just refused to watch it in principle because the villain scared me.
Yeah, it just wasn't one I rented all too often.
All
right, Ben, you're numero dos.
Whoever the mill, whoever the mill. She kills some puppies, of course, is my number 2.
Yeah.
That's the main purpose of the movie. If you want to kill puppies, you make clothes.
To the point that it inspired
clothes.
Episodes.
What?
To the point it inspired a Simpsons episode.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
See my vest, see my vest. Yeah, Cruella. Go ahead, Ben.
There's really not much to say. She's an evil woman who wanted clothes. So she wanted to kill puppies. The end. She's a great villain.
Yep, another great comedic villain, one of the more iconic villains, because not only for that, but that lady has style. Weird style.
And she's great in the live action remake.
Which I still have to watch. I still haven't watched it.
It's good. Again,
I hear that.
Don't try to look at it as a 101 Dalmatians prequel, which it is. Just look at it as a Cruella movie. Don't try to.
That's something you never have to worry about with me. Those I take them for what they are. I'm not the type of guy that.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't. That's my problem.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with you too. It's a lot of people, but
And don't forget, Glenn Close did an amazing job in
that's right.
The 90s.
I haven't sat one I haven't seen in a long time.
Me too. Me neither. But
do you guys know who Henchman?
Yeah, it's Mark Addy and Hugh Laurie.
I never Ron Weasley's dad.
Who's dad?
Ron Weasley. Laurie from Doctor Who.
I thought it was Mark Addy. Hold on, let's take a look.
Mark Williams, the Ron Weasley's dad.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I thought it was Mark Addy.
Is it Mark?
The other one is indeed Hugh Laurie.
So did you look it up? Is it Mark?
It is. It's Brian Pond.
Which Mark is it?
It's Mark Ryan. Brian Pond.
Brian Pond.
Yeah, no, I thought for sure it was Mark Addy. I was mistaken.
Well, you were on the mark.
I was at the mark. I was halfway there.
Hold on.
I just got that part. I was on the mark.
But I'll just add to that because she was my number 4. I'll go even a step further than you did, Ben. Not only she tried to kill puppies to make fructose, which is messed up as it is, she abused her 2 henchmen, Jasper and Horace. She slaps them repeatedly. She told them to burn the puppies. She tried to run the puppies over. She tried to run the guy in the truck off the road. And just look at the evil in her eyes when she's driving towards the truck. And like her 2 evil henchmen, they were terrified of her. Look at their faces when she gets mad, when she throws the bottle into the fireplace thing. Even her car, her Rolls Royce, has these angry eyes on the headlights.
Well, think of her license plate, DeVille.
Yeah, DeVille. Yeah, but I mean that's her. That's kind of her name. So that's it.
I think it's been a while. I think next time I'm sitting here playing the game, I think I'm going to pop that on the monitor. It's been a while. It's been a really, really long while since I've seen the original.
It's so good. I love that movie.
Based on a book.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that it is. Even Dumbo was based on a book.
Even what? Sorry?
Dumbo.
Dumbo.
Yep. A lot of those Disney movies, early Disney movies, are definitely based on properties for sure.
And Peter Pan.
And of course, Peter Pan. Yeah.
I think, of course, Bambi was. Wasn't Bambi also based on a book?
It might be. Hold on.
Yeah, I think I saw that somewhere. But I think we can just wrap it up by saying, Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil.
It is based off an Austrian coming-of-age novel called Bambi: A Life in the Woods.
See, I did remember something of that nature.
Which
I remember that was true.
next year marks the 100th anniversary of the book.
This year, I believe, is the 80th anniversary of the movie.
Yeah, it is. Holy crap. That's another movie. When you're watching as a child and Bambi's mother dies, that traumatizes one.
Yeah.
You do not mind at watching that scene, you do not have a soul. Or maybe you had an abusive mother. One of the two.
Or maybe your tear ducts have dried up.
Or maybe you don't have tears.
Ducts are all dried up from disuse.
Or maybe you're like Chandler and you just can't cry.
And you're dead inside.
Well, I mean,
you're dead inside.
Yeah, but when he cried, that really started the water wars.
All right, Ben, your number 2 time?
That was
Cruella.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, sorry. Right, 50 had it earlier. Okay, honorable mentions. I've got Hades. I've got
Okay, all right.
Lots of Fun Bear from Toy Story 3.
Ooh, loves the haunted bear. Yeah, I love it.
Cruella de Vil. And Medusa from The Rescuers.
Didn't you also say Jafar was on your...
And Jafar as well, yes.
50? Your honorable mentions?
Are you sure you don't want to go to me last?
You got a lot, don't you?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, Ben, your honorable mentions, and then we'll end with 50's grand speech.
Right. Snow? Captain Hook?
Mentions? Oh, 50, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
We back. He's only there because I knew 50 wouldn't talk about him.
That's no excuse.
Shut up. Snow? Captain Hook? Khan?
Who's
Prince
Khan?
Sean?
You mean Shere Khan from the Jungle Book?
Shere Khan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Khan!
Yeah, like Khan is Star Trek. Okay,
Yeah.
Shere Khan. Good choice. Shere Khan is.
Unless he was talking about Genghis Khan.
Prince Sean? Robin Hood? And
love that movie.
And Captain Yanti from Lilo and Stitch.
Nice. That's a movie I've only seen like twice. So sorry, Jess. All right, and 50. Let's do this.
Okay, so what? Go for that.
Because you always give me the same reaction and it always makes me laugh.
Okay, so Yzma, Hades, Shere Khan, Shan Yu, Professor Hamsterville.
Shan Yu, that's Mulan, right?
That's from Mulan.
Yeah, okay.
Where was I? Captain Hook, Queen Grimhilda, the OG from the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Another character that I refused to watch because it scared the shit out of me, the Chernabog. The ringmaster from Dumbo. Ursula. The producer from Bolt. Turbo from Wreck-It Ralph. Mother Gothel. Prince Hans. Home on the Range. Just that whole entire movie to me.
Never seen it.
Don't. Just trust me and don't.
Okay.
Clayton.
Yes, it is the good one. Tarzan.
Professor Radigan. Radcliffe. Medusa from The Rescuers.
Did you say Radigan from Rescuers Down Under?
I said Medusa from Rescuers and Radigan from The Great Mouse Detective. And then I said Radigan, then Radcliffe from Pocahontas, then Medusa.
Okay, there's one I forgot to add to mine, and that's from Rescuers Down Under. The poacher.
Yeah.
McLeish.
And Joanna, his lizard.
Yeah. That's
And
another movie that's underrated.
And I think that might be all.
So pretty much every Disney.
Unless I'm forgetting a few, which is totally possible.
No, yeah, there's a lot of Disney villains. Yeah, no, that Rescuers Down Under, man, McLeish is a terrifying villain. George C. Scott did a great job.
You know what? I wasn't a big fan of that movie, but I've only seen it once. I grew up watching the Rescuers on repeat, but I only saw that movie once.
I think I've seen the Rescuers Down Under more, but it's by a slim margin. I had them both at the same time growing up, so I think it's just by a slim margin. I might have seen that one more.
So did anyone even notice that I slipped in a directed video villain in there too?
I did, yes.
Can you tell me?
Right.
Just because I caught it doesn't mean I remember the name. There was a lot of names, 50.
Dr. Hamster Wheel! Hamster Wheel! Hamster Wheel, sorry.
Actually, I don't know where that's from. I just knew
Yeah, me neither.
It's the Lilo and Stitch directed video.
Gotcha. Never seen it.
Fuck you too, then.
Okay. All right. Should we let Ben do his number one first?
So let's move on to your Judge Claude Floro number one.
Yeah, before we get to your freaking scar. But first, I figure let's start with Ben first. Let's get his out of the way before we go nuclear.
Yeah, because I'm actually, we both know what's mine and Soda's number one. I'm curious to know what Ben.
The old queen, the one that's not in it all, the evil queen.
Which her name is Queen Brunhilde? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Queen
I didn't know
Brunhilde.
that.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
But I mean, not a lot of people are me, so you know.
That's true. There's only 150 Shades. It's a good thing. This is a good thing because when they made you, they definitely broke the mold. That is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean,
That's why I will never have kids. Because the last thing this world needs is another me.
51, 52, 53 Shades of Geek.
See, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
we have to have 69 shades of geek at some point, right?
69 Shades of Geek is 50's unruly, oversexed relative. I'm sorry, I had to.
And whenever I pull out the hookah and start smoking, that's 420 Shades of Geek. Anyways,
Darn
go ahead.
Which, if you haven't seen the hookah.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah,
But you know, Ben, you earned this.
But no, the evil queen. I mean, yeah, she's the template. She is the one that everything that comes afterward is well, I wouldn't say compared to, but basically crafted after.
And then not forget, they made like a whole show where you can argue she's the main character.
Yeah, once upon a time, that's right.
In other words, she's
the Holy Grail.
Pretty much. The Holy Grail of Disney villains, yeah.
And she really does embody what I said earlier about the definitive Disney villain. Not because she's the first, she is the definitive template.
Yeah.
Let's look at the evidence. She hated Snow White because she was prettier than her. Motive, okay? As far as motives go, yeah. She tries to get a hunter to kill her for her, refusing to get her hands dirty, and tells him to bring back her heart in a box. And this is a kid's movie, ladies and gentlemen. In the
30s.
Yeah. I can't remember. Yeah, it's the 30s. I keep forgetting it. I keep thinking it's the 20s. But yeah, she does that. When the hunter fails, she makes sure that he did the job right. Then she disguises herself as a horrifying witch. She poisoned an apple and gave to that poor child. And then she tried to kill the dwarves with a giant boulder. And got what's coming to her. The boulder crushed her at the end. Again, using every single weapon in her arsenal to her advantage.
Yeah, I mean, to me, nobody meets you. Nobody beats the original.
That's totally fair. Who should go next?
I mean,
Let's end with 50. Shut up. Please.
Yeah, it's Judge Claude Frollo. Not just because Hunchback of Notre Dame is arguably my favorite Disney movie, but
So you do have daddy issues.
Truthfully, out of all the villains that we've talked about, he is probably the only one that is most grounded in reality. Because one, that shit did happen. Two, that shit still happens. While the movie does take place in medieval France, a lot of people do still think like this. And that is what makes it scary, is because of the reflection on actual society. And plus, Hellfire. My God, Tony J puts everything into Hellfire. And you understand the torment going on with Frollo, because this is a man who, quote unquote, is bound by the law of God, but he is someone who also, like most human men, has those carnal urges, and he is trying his best to fight them. And because of that, it makes him a really good villain.
One question. I agree with you about everything, but you mentioned something earlier that really confused me. You said you really could make 50 villains a rug. And that's Hades, not Frollo.
That's literally, actually, no, that's literally Hercules. It's Hercules that's wearing the scar rug.
And it didn't really turn him into a rug. It was the Nemean lion, which, if you actually read...
Lion, yes. Which I thought was a pretty Easter egg on their part. I think, no, what I mean is literally Frollo could shoot him, skin Scar, and there's his rug. That's what I meant.
Scar has an army of hyenas he can sick on him. And also, there are no humans in the Lion King.
I know. But that's why Frollo is so high on my list. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Scar. There's a reason why he's number 2. Mostly is because of Jeremy Irons. But Frollo takes the cake.
I'm insulted.
But Frollo takes the cake because, like I said, 600 years after this movie takes place, there are still people that are exactly like this. It is a reflection on who we are at times. That's why it's number 1, because it is the most realistic.
And this is the part of the show where I'm going to get heat for bringing up the point that that's basically also Radigan. No, not Radigan, Radcliffe.
Right.
From Pocahontas. Again, not historically accurate at all, but still, that idea, the concept of racism, especially in America, which is where that movie takes place in, it's still very prominent today, arguably today more than ever.
Yeah, and they did have to change Frollo.
We do not learn from our own mistakes.
They did have to change Frollo from the book to the movie, because in the book he's an actual cardinal. They had to change it because of, the religious connotations, but he's actually worse in the book.
Well, they also changed Radcliffe, but they made him worse in the movie somehow.
Yeah. But I mean, no, Frollo is that is all Tony J. Tony J, just great casting. Nailed it out of the park. And like I said, Hellfire, man. Whew. That's the song. Yeah. All right, now 50, Scar. Like I said, Scar is amazing. If Frollo wasn't around, Scar would be my number 1.
I mean, I keep going back to this. The holy trinity of Disney villains. The best male villain, Jafar. The best female villain, Maleficent. And the best overall villain, Scar. First of all, allow me to point out the obvious here. He's literally a byproduct of all the elements needed to create a great movie villain.
He's also Hitler in animated form.
I was getting to that. What is the first actual recorded crime in the Bible? Killing one's brother, Cain and Abel. The first wrongdoing of man was, well, technically more, in that case it was more of a woman, but still the man who went along with it was eating from the tree of knowledge. The first actual crime in the Bible, in history, killing your brother. So yeah, he's got that. Plus the Nazi imagery. Nazis are instantly vilified.
I mean, if you watch The Lion King and you don't see those hyenas goose stepping, you don't see that for what it is. There's something wrong with you.
Like I said, all of
They were moose nipping? I had no
goose
idea. I'm
No,
kidding. Of course I knew.
they were hyena stepping.
Yeah.
But again, all the components for a good movie villain, not just great Disney villain, great movie villain. And again, employing that Disney villain mentality of using every single thing you have at your disposal to your advantage and not giving up until the final stroke. He conspires to kill not just his brother, his nephew. He kills his brother, seeks his henchmen to kill his nephew, takes over the kingdom, wrecks it to shit, like it goes by. In the deleted scene, he actually tries to rape Nala.
Yep.
Which is the main reason she left in the first place. Bitch slaps Sarabi, lies to Simba, tries to vilify him, tries to push him off a ledge like his brother, tries to hide the fact that he just revealed to him that he was the villain. And again, it's
Throws the hyenas under the bus.
Yeah, the whole part of the villain, the villain's own pride becomes his downfall. He whispers it into Simba's ear, which is what starts the downward spiral of his villainy. Sends his army of hyenas to fight the lions while he tries to make an escape. When Simba catches up to him, he throws fire in his eyes and tries to fight him. He puts Simba on his back, tries to pounce him for the one final time. Simba gets rid of them, right? And even then, after, like you said, he threw the hyenas under the bus. He still somehow thinks that they're on his side, and he tries to convince them that he was just saying that to save his own skin. He didn't really mean it, and he gets what he's got coming for. The hyenas eat him in the end, and he burns to death with them, and that it restores the balance of the circle of life. That is what saves Pride Rock and the rest of the Pride lands. Jafar being on the throne, not being able to handle the drought the way that other lands who came before and after him could, is the main reason for all the crisis in that movie, which is why it is the best movie ever made. It is perfect. It is the circle of life. It ends the way it begins. Cue the music.
All 50's opinion on terms of the greatest movie ever made. I was just sitting there thinking, it's like either you were describing the plot of the Lion King, or you were describing the situation of the current former disgraced president of the United States.
Well, I don't live in America, so I don't know.
No, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not. I agree with everything you said. If I was to sit here and like critically make a list, I probably would have Frollo and Scar switch. That's no denying, because everything you said is 100% accurate.
Because I'm always right, right?
I'm sorry, I had to. How much
Bollocks!
How much of Jeremy Irons' portrayal do you think lends to that? Because I honestly don't think if it was anyone other than Jeremy Irons, we wouldn't remember Scar as well as we do. I really don't.
I don't know. I think it was just a mixture of the acting and the writing, and obviously the music and the anime and everything. That's why the movie's just perfect, pure perfection.
And also the fact that at the time Disney did not consider this the eighth film; they considered Pocahontas the eighth film, so The Lion King had a little bit more leeway.
Yep.
And in a weird way, that is the same thing that happened with Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And guess what? Favorite movie of all time, favorite TV show of all time.
Go figure.
Oh, I mean best. Yeah.
50's got a type. Which actually, it's funny that we're talking Disney and you bring up Doctor Who. What do you think of the Disney Doctor Who thing? With the added money for the budgets? Because a lot of people are saying it's not going to be the same because it's they're going to overly CGI it. I think Russell T Davies is gonna enhance it, but not take away what makes it feel like Doctor Who.
Yeah, guys, come on, it's Russell. I mean, he's no studio pushover. Let's put it that way. But the thing is about the increased budget. Is that a confirmed thing? Because I've seen conflicting reports about that.
I've seen more not confirming, but I've seen more supporting that than I have denying it.
Because I've read the entire article top to bottom twice.
Mm-hmm.
They mentioned nothing about adding the Disney budget. It was only talked about compete. Doctor Who now has to compete with Andor and She-Hulk and all these other TV shows from the MCU and the Disney and the Star Wars stuff on Disney Plus without having the increased budget. They still do because the BBC still has production rights. They don't have distribution rights.
Right. Okay.
So they still have to work with the budgets that they have on the other side of the pond. So I don't know if there's going to be much significance in terms of the budget. I've seen people make these outlandish talks about it. They were talking about like 10 million pounds an episode, culminating in 100 million pounds a season, which is like, you guys are crazy. The Mandalorian doesn't have that budget, but just I don't know. People are already talking about spinoffs and which spinoff they like. I'm like, guys, calm down. There's nothing. I didn't see anything to confirm the increased budget. You're just setting yourself up for disappointment. Just and also said nothing at all about adding not just the classic series episodes to Disney Plus. There's nothing about adding the modern series episodes to Disney Plus. It only talks about
dumb, if you ask me.
It's stupid. It is idiotic. They're only talking about the first episode that will be seen on Disney Plus is the next 60th anniversary specials with David Tennant, followed immediately by the rest of the Shurigatwa season. And if you're gonna make that big of a deal about signing Doctor Who and this whole bringing the Doctor's adventures to a whole new generation of people around the world, which is exactly what it says in the article, why wouldn't you put the other stuff? I'm not talking about the classic. That's like, I've almost given up hope that people would gain interest in those by this point. But the modern series, all 13 seasons, you've got almost 20 years of content. Why wouldn't you? Especially after you bought 20th Century Fox, specifically so you can add their huge library of content to Disney Plus.
And didn't Fox do the movie?
Yes, they did. They did a TV movie. And,
Fox did the TV movie.
Yeah, I have a feeling within a year it will be on Disney Plus. You have to remember, guys, they have rights, they all contract, and it's not up to them. I'm sure they want to. And
I do think eventually we will get Eccleston through whatever.
Right.
I really do. Just obviously not right away. I think he's gonna be like, you're right, probably.
Again, they did the same thing. They bought all of the Fox stuff. They put all the Predator movies there, the original Planet of the Apes movies there from the 80s, 70s, and 60s.
This is for everyone outside of the United States, by the way.
Yeah, we have all that on Hulu.
Yeah. The stuff
which might be another reason why they know.
But Ben, Hulu is a part of Disney Plus, is it not? Or is it partially?
No, Hulu. So Hulu originally was actually a whole bunch of different companies that own shares in it. That's why you can find content from different companies on there. But I do think Disney owns actually the majority of the share now after they bought it.
They own the majority, yes, but it's near a separate app.
Gotcha. Okay.
So people are giving all their spin-off ideas and stuff and such. Wait and see how this whole deal pans out. And again, it's just a lot. You might be surprised to hear this, but a lot of people, especially we talked earlier about the land down under, people down under, not happy about this at all, because it takes the Doctor Who away from their free-to-view channels and puts it on Disney Plus. And if you think they're just bitching and moping, consider this: no other country, aside from maybe the UK, no other country in the world has contributed to Doctor Who the way Australia did.
Yeah.
Enough that they have their own page on the Doctor Who wiki of just a list of contributions they made to the show. Seriously, look that up. It is quite the rabbit hole.
I take your word for it.
So
Yeah,
in other words, I can just sum this up by saying,
Whoa! Easy with the fireballs.
Okay. And on that note, it's 50's turn for the list next week, right?
I'm almost afraid to ask what's your topic.
I almost didn't have a topic until recently, but I thought about it, and I think it makes sense. It's the best. Top 5 Kevin Conroy's Batman moments.
Yes. Moments or episodes? Or are we just going for moments?
I won't even say moments because that encapsulates his career more. Because you have the Injustice games, the Arkham games, the Crisis cameo that he did.
I already know my number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be a good but very bittersweet list.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's wrap this sucker up because some of us have to go adult the rest of the day. Ben, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at my Twitter, man, at RadarMan5. You guys can also find me at my YouTube channel, The Morning with a Geekdom. We have shows every day, and tonight we're having a live stream to celebrate our 100 subscribers that we made. So come by and check that out. And you guys can find me right here on the Northern Entertainment Group every Tuesday. I'll rewind that tape whenever that comes back. And
Soon, folks, I'm almost done with my play. Soon.
And every Saturday morning right here on the Northern Countdown.
Which we will finally change that one day. Change that theme song now one day. 50, what about you?
You can find me on my own YouTube channel where I talk some more Doctor Who on Doctor Who Revisited every Sunday or Monday, depending on what my schedule is like. I do weekly reviews of every single Doctor Who episode from 1963 all the way up to 2022, and I'm almost done with season 1. And can't wait to start. All of season 2 is already ready and edited and ready to go. Just gotta wait to finish season 1 first. I also uploaded a review for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. And I also have my own show on this channel where I talk even more Doctor Who, called The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. And this week we're celebrating Doctor Who's birthday by talking about all of the anniversary celebrations for the show. And I'm going to have these two lovely gentlemen on the show for Monday, which is in a couple of days from now. Talking about the poster behind Soda there.
Yep, The Great Day of the Doctor. Which is,
okay.
spoilers, it's actually in my top 100 favorite films of all time. And as for myself, you can find me on my personal.
And yes, it is a film. Shut up.
Yeah. We actually did have a discussion about this because when I was making this list, 50's like, does it really count? I said yes because they theatrically released it. I saw it in theaters.
So stuck on it, everyone.
As for myself, you can find me on my personal Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman. You can find me in everything that these two gentlemen have mentioned on this channel. You can also find me, not for the next couple weeks, because I am currently in the middle of a production at my local theater troupe. So I'm actually taking a 1 month break from the Blokes of Wrestling just because it's on Fridays and I'm unfortunately at the play. So I go definitely watch that. Dagan, I believe, is going to have a rotating panel of co-hosts during the month. So definitely go check that out. Support over there. And anyways, yeah, we'll talk to you next week on the Northern Countdown as we discuss our top 5 Kevin Conroy is it just Kevin Conroy moments or Kevin Conroy as Batman?
Kevin Conroy as Batman moments.
Kevin Conroy as Batman moments. This is going to be a great episode. We will see you next week as we eulogize the knight. May he rest in peace. Where's my wand? Wand's up. For the
I am the master. I am the master, and you will obey me.
Wand's up for the great Kevin Conroy. Rest in peace.